At least 4 people died after Tropical Cyclone Eloise hit Mozambique. Eloise brought rain and powerful winds of around 130 kilometers per hour. The victims died in the worst-hit port city of Beira, and most of them were killed by falling trees. On Sunday, Mozambique's National Institute for Disaster Risk Management and Reduction said investigations had shown Eloise had injured 12 people and displaced more than 6,000. Cyclone Eloise damaged buildings, ruined crops and displaced thousands of people in Mozambique. According to the World Meteorological Organization, the cyclone has since lost its strength and has been downgraded to a tropical storm. They also forecast a threat of severe flooding that could affect more than 200,000 people in Mozambique alone. Simiao Pongwane, a Mozambique TV journalist, joins us on the line from the capital, Maputo, to give us the latest on this storm. Mr. Pongwane, very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Globe.
Evening.
Any casualties reported so far, and do we know of any injuries?
So far, the information given by people who are in Beira, especially the mayor of Beira, Mr. David Simango, 4 people in Beira have died. And in Buzi, also 2 people. Buzi is a district of Sofala. 2 people have died, including children. 1 children in Buzi and then 1 children in Beira. Altogether are 6 people dead in that area because of that cyclone. So 163,000 people affected. 343 houses partially destroyed, and 1,069 houses totally destroyed. So this so far is the information given from Beira. And apart from that, in Buzi, for instance, 6,000 people have been evacuated to safe place because the town of Buzi is flooded. Some residential areas, including houses, are flooded. People have no way to stay, and then they've been evacuated to highland areas. In Beira also, the 2 warehouses of the National Institute for Disaster Management are destroyed, but the aid, food or assistance is safe. Apparently, it was transferred to another location. That is the information that we have. And the between Beira, Sofala and Nyambane, this Nyambane is southern Mozambique, and Beira, there's a river called Save River. That river is busted into its banks, flooding some residential areas. And this is the concern of the people who have nowhere to go. And I think the number of affected people will increase. So if we move to Manica, because this cyclone affected 4 provinces, namely Sofala, Nyambane, Manica, and the Zambezi. If we move to Manica, for instance, there are reports that 250 infrastructure were destroyed in Musuris, which is a district, and in Kilimani, which is a town, capital city of Zambezia, 23 schools, for instance, were damaged, and 8 people injured in Kilimani. This is the information, the latest information that we've got from that area.
Okay, and we understand that thousands have been displaced, and the numbers must be rising given the threat of rising flood waters in certain parts of the country, isn't it?
Exactly. It will happen because the National Institute for Disaster Management said that the river, for instance, is still receiving much more water than was expected. And then it will flood more areas, will be flooding more areas. So many people will be affected. That's correct.
And do we know if Mozambique is getting any assistance, especially from neighboring countries in this very difficult time?
So far, I know nothing about any assistance from neighboring countries. What we know now is that the president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, sent a message of condolences, some sort of condolence or solidarity to President Nyusi, saying that he's very concerned about what is happening with this cyclone in Mozambique. It's only information that we have. In terms of assistance as such, not yet.
So now that the storm, or rather the cyclone, has been downgraded to a storm, have the rains and the gusty winds subsided so far?
Yes, in that area, for instance, we're talking about Beira, Buzi, Manica, and Kilimani in Zambezi. Yes, the cyclone and the gases have subsided. But the rains are still there, but not very strong, too much strong. It is raining also in Maputo. It started to rain this afternoon. But in Nyambane, northern Nyambane, for instance, also the rains, there are reports of heavy rains there. So the situation is still very worrying, and we hope that tomorrow we get some more information about what is happening in that area.
We've seen power lines being damaged in large parts of the country, as we understand. Has the power supply been severely affected?
Yes, severely affected, yes, but not as much as it happened with Idai, for instance. As you know, Idai affected also Beira. It destroyed partially Beira and Manica and some other areas there. Power lines, yes, have been affected. And yesterday, for instance, the National Authority of Electricity was busy trying to reconnect people who have no power. But this work will take some time because many power lines were just swept away.
Any damage, perhaps, and disruptions to the area's communications network?
Yeah, it happened. But for instance, in Beira yesterday, the national mobile operator said that it was restoring communications, and Vodacom Mozambique reported that was having problems because some of the lines were not working, and they were busy also trying to put it all together. So, yes, communication is a problem. For instance, with Buzi, the president of the National Institute for Disaster Management was saying that she had a problem of communicating with Buzi exactly to know what happened. So today she flew there to Buzi, to find out what was really a situation. But there are still people who are cut off in terms of communication through mobile phones. You know that landlines is no longer used basically in many areas of Mozambique. So it's quite difficult now to contact people from there because they do not have communication.
Were the citizens given sufficient notice to prepare for this storm or for this cyclone? Were any large-scale evacuations taken place beforehand? Yes.
For instance, in Buzi, there was a very large-scale evacuation. Up to yesterday, for instance, more than 3,000 people had been evacuated to safe areas, highland areas. But, people sometimes are reluctant to leave their homes or their houses because some other people, they just use that opportunity to steal their belongings. So many people are complaining that, yes, they would leave, but also they feared that their belongings would be stolen. So, nobody knows exactly what to do and what not to do in Mozambique because too much calamities. We have more than 565,000 displaced people by the war in Cabo Delgado. We have, for instance, more than 3,000 people displaced in central Mozambique because of that junta militar of Renamo rebels in central Mozambique. So you have in southern Mozambique drought affecting people. That area of central Mozambique, we have successive cyclones hitting that area. So, now we have this pandemic. So nobody is understanding what to do, where, what time. So it's quite difficult to deal with the situation in Mozambique. Okay. But the authorities and partners, they are doing their best to help.
Now, clearly, this storm coincides with the COVID-19 pandemic. Do we know at this point if the storm is hampering efforts to battle this pandemic?
Yes, when one lives, for instance, people who with flooded houses, they are no more concerned about wearing masks, for instance, facial masks. They don't use that because they are very concerned about what to eat, where to sleep. And then, although the officials, government officials, try to appeal that please be careful, just use your facial masks, and the people are very concerned with their, living a livelihood. One doesn't know the next meal what would be, and then lot of concerns, you see, and then people they don't have where to spend the night, what to do. So yes, it is happening too much. Although some of them are trying also to prevent themselves, but it's quite challenging.
Mr. Simiao Pongwane, Mozambique TV journalist, joining us via Zoom, or rather joining us on the line from Maputo in Mozambique. Thank you so much for your time.
Keep away.